Breaking news here on Martyn Lucas Investor. We are talking about Ford now. One of my members of my channel said, who is a big investor and loves Ford, says, can you make a video on Ford? And I can do that. If you are a member of our channel and you want me to promote a stock, remember, if I do make a promotional video, it's not a pump and dump. I always tell the truth, and I'm only positive about stock if I own shares in it. If you ask me to promote Shiba Inu, for example, and I say it's rubbish, well, there you go. I'm just telling you. I'm happy to do it for any of my members, but I tell you the truth, not to pump and dump, not to influence in any way, just to tell you what I believe in and the facts that are presented to me at the time. So, what's new about Ford? Now, very often when I make a video talking positively about a stock, the stock goes up. No idea why. Maybe 1 million people watch me and then buy the stock because I say so. I don't know. Anyway, as I start talking positively, it will go up. As I start saying something bad, it will go down. Let's see if that happens today. So smash the like button and don't forget, as always, click the subscribe, and we go live up to 10 hours a day. We're talking about Ford. I've got some news. I'm going to talk about it and share it with you right now. So there you go. If you do a super chat during this video, your name will appear in the, as I'm making this video on a live show, your name will appear on the screen as well if you want to get famous. Okay, Ford. I have a very small position in Ford. Now, I'm a much bigger fan of Tesla. I'll say that right off the bat. However, I've owned every Ford ever since Ford came out. As long as I've been driving anyway. I've had a Ford Sierra, a Ford Focus, a Ford Transit van, short wheelbase, medium wheelbase, long wheelbase. Everyone in England loves Ford. We all have Ford. But it's not about a fan. It's about making money. I'm here to buy stocks that will go up, make me money, right? Now, I read some information last night that the CEO is very passionate about making Ford the #1 EV manufacturer. They want to compete and beat Tesla. Can they do that? If they can do that with the history that they have, the history isn't everything, remember, then they are in a good position, a very good position if they can pull that off. There are some negatives to Ford. We all know about that, and we're going to talk about it very briefly now on the show. So let's have a little look. This is our researchers sending some information in. This is Church of Logic, who is very passionate and an investor on Ford. Let me bring in some of the information for you right now. Ford is demanding its dealers get serious about EVs. 2/3 say they're in. Now, let me add some color to that. I've got friends who own Ford dealerships, and they are muscle guys. They are gas guys. They don't even like EVs. That's a fact. That's a reality. When the man walks in off the street, or a woman, to buy a Ford, as it was last year, earlier in the year, in fact, they walk in, and in one section, the guy comes, come over here and buy this big, heavy Mustang, this big gas-guzzling car. This is what you want. Guy over here says, come over here, what you want is an EV. That doesn't work. Ford understand that now. They understand you got to be in one camp or the other. That's why Tesla only sell electric cars. Can you imagine if Tesla suddenly said, we're going to make gas cars? It would crush the company. You either believe in one thing or you don't. And you can't have one person telling you, you need to buy this car, if someone over here is saying you need to buy this car. That's obviously a conflict of interest. Well, Ford understand that now. And they're demanding, as in this comment here, its dealers get serious about EVs. Because unfortunately, the mentality of Ford dealerships, and remember, dealerships aren't the future either. In my opinion, buying cars online, if they're computerized cars, digital cars, EV cars, why on earth do you need dealerships? Now, I know some of my viewers won't like that because that means putting people out of business, but that's what's good for the company. Making profits is what the shareholders want. The shareholders aren't buying shares because they love people. They're buying shares because they like making money, period. No argument. That's what we're doing here, right? I'm all for people having money and having jobs, but I'm investing to make money, not to help people. That's not what I'm doing. Doesn't make any sense, right? So Ford are right to get everyone to be more serious about their EVs. As long as you have conflict of interest, you can't overtake Tesla. Let's look at this next comment from Churchy. Ford Motor Company CEO Jim Farley said that 1,920 of Americans, roughly 3,000 Ford retailers, have agreed to sign up for the company's EV certification program. So that's showing you that Ford is moving in that direction. They've been listening to my show. They tune in every day. And they've realized that you can't be in both camps. You've got to go fully EV. You've got to go fully EV. You can't be a bit of this, bit of that. Now, if you want to have some very rare collectible cars and you want to keep the muscle cars going forever and a day, okay. For collectors, 1% of your fleet could be gas cars. I get it. But if you're not fully committed to your EV progression, you're not going to be a leader in EVs. It's inevitable. And that is the future, whether you like it or not. Ford not only have to realize that, but love it. How can you be passionate? How can you be passionate about one side of the argument and not the other? You need to be passionate about EVs. You need to love EVs. If you don't, it looks like what it is. You're just trying to make a few quid and sell a few cars and you don't really care. You've got to get passionate about it. Let me read some more information. In fact, I'm going to share some information right now that was sent in via our researcher, Churchy. All right? Let's look at this information over here. The US Ford, let me zoom in to make it a bit clearer for you, if I can. Let's have a little look. There we go. Oh, that's a bit too big. Let's have a look. US Ford doubled BEV sales again in November 22. This is some of their fleet. We've got the truck, we've got the Ford E-Mach-E, and have we got an electric transit van now? I would have loved that years ago. I would have absolutely loved that. One of my biggest expenses was the gas prices. Would have loved it. Let's have a little, let me make this even bigger if I can. There we go. In November, the total sales of Ford and Lincoln vehicles in the US decreased by almost 8%. All right, year over year to 146,000. The company reports strong demand, which indicates that the problem is still in the limited supply of new vehicles. Ford sales, 140,000, down 7%. Lincoln sales, down 5%. Total sales, 7.8%. In the case of all electric vehicles, Ford once again doubled its sales year over year last month. The company delivered 6,255 units of 103%, which is also 4.5% of the total volume. Ford noted also that EV sales expanded at approximately twice the rate of the overall EV segment in November, and that it's America's second best selling brand and manufacturer of EVs behind Tesla. Okay, so Ford are getting more serious. They need to get more serious. Are you in the camp that believe that Ford can take on Tesla? What do you think? Church has sent me more information here, which also involves charging investments and no haggle sales programs. That is essential. Essential for EVs. We've got to get rid of the whole car salesman. I know it means people losing their jobs, but as an investor of a company, I am interested in the company making money, not interested in anything else. So we need to get rid of that car salesman routine, which is what Ford can be known for, and about a different approach to technologies. Let me read some more information here. US Ford doubled BEV sales again in November. We've already had that one. I think that's it for now. I've got more information coming in from Churchy, but that'll make another video. I think that's long enough. We talked about Ford. What do you think? Is Ford going to compete with Tesla? Well, just because something is a legacy company, just because it's been around forever, doesn't mean it can compete. One thing Ford has going for it in America, it has the backing of the government. We know that because, embarrassingly so, when the government decided to have an EV summit, they invited Ford, but they left out Tesla. People said because Tesla, Elon Musk can't keep his mouth shut. Apparently, I think that is ridiculous. The biggest EV pioneer in the world is not at an EV event. To me, that's ridiculous. However, if you are a Ford investor, you don't mind the government behind Ford. Why would you mind? At the end of the day, you want your investments to go up. So it's tough on Tesla, but Tesla are still coming out on top. Just because Ford have the backing of the government doesn't mean to say they can remain and be number one in the EV space. However, we know that Ford has the number one truck in the United States, the F-150. They've now got the Lightning. When we see everybody driving around in an EV Ford F-150 Lightning, then we know that Ford could become number one. What do you think? Leave in the comments below. I will reply to everyone's comments. I would love you to call into the show. If you are a member of our channel, if you look below, there's a Discord channel. You can become a YouTube member and call in live to the show. I invite anyone who works at Ford to call in and have your say. I invite anyone who'd love to be part of this debate, Ford versus Tesla, to call into the show. Be part of it. Let me know what you think and be live on the show. Tonight, in the after hours and the closing bell up here, you will see a link to my world premiere of my music, my latest music video. And every night I release a music song. And the reason for that is we're about to release a song for Virgin Galactic and promote that stock. And I want the shares to go up for Virgin Galactic because I'm a holder and I'm promoting it with music. So we're getting people to follow me on my music channel. Let me scroll to the bottom and let me see very quickly if I had any more comments from anyone about Ford. Let's have a look. Hang on a minute. Churchy has just said here, he drove Fords and thinks they're rubbish. Unreal. I do not think Fords are rubbish at all. They are an everyman car. They're not a BMW. My favorite car is a BMW. It's made much better than a Ford. I prefer the build quality of Fords. A BMW, but not everyone can afford a BMW. Ford is the most popular car in England, and it's I wouldn't say it's a cheap car, but it's a budget car. It's made well. It does the job, gets the job done. That's a fair estimate. I'm not a fan. I'm just an investor. All right. Okay, let me scroll down. He loves Ford, really. Church, reckon he just says it to wind you up. There you go. Crag, I think I've given a very, very fair assessment of Ford here today. Any more comments? This makes me so happy. There we go. Now Church is happy. He believes, hopefully he believes that it was a fair statement of Ford. Tell it like it is. Absolutely, tell it like it is. My channel only has the highest engagement rate of live viewers to members of any YouTube channel. That's an official statement of fact, by the way, because the channel is always live, always real, always honest. You did enough, says Ford, says Churchy. Thank you. And that's a perfect way to end this video. Churchy, this was for you. You are a member of my channel. I've made a video for you. I hope it was fair, and I hope Ford do well for you and everybody else who is involved and invested in Ford. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.